Hello everyone, Pluto here and welcome to my first City Skylines build on YouTube. For this series we're heading to the Pacific Northwest and building a city inspired by the coastal towns of Oregon and Washington. I've chosen the Coos Bay map, the light version, by Pablo Ponderosa because the combination of forest, coastline and rugged terrain feels like the perfect foundation for the kind of city I want to create. We're starting small, with limited funds and plenty of milestones to unlock, so we'll have to carefully grow this place from a tiny settlement into a thriving Pacific Northwest city. One thing I haven't decided yet is a name for our city, so if you have any ideas let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll find a perfect name as the city begins to take shape. With that said, let's jump right into it. Alright, so I think this is a nice place to start. We've got electricity coming in here if we want it. We've also got water pipes and sewage pipes coming over here if we want to import those. Well, export sewage, I guess. We also have the highway coming in here and also a railway, so just transport wise we're really well connected. And then it's just a beautiful view behind us. And I think it's a nice little corner to at least start and then expand on as we go along. I think it would be good if we draw a line down the riverside and maybe beside the railway line. And we'll figure out what exactly we want to do with this space after we do that. Now that we've done that, what we could do is, do we have the, no we don't have that unlocked. So for now I guess we just draw a 4-lane road out here to be our entry to this part of the city. Maybe we don't even need that size of road, because I feel like for now at least this is just gonna be a little branch of the city. I'm not too sure how major it will be compared to the rest of the city, so let's start with small and then we can expand if need be. I guess the first thing that we need to be zoning is probably residential, just to get people in the door and kind of ready to start work. Also gonna turn on some topography. I thought this was mostly flat, but just figured that I'd make sure. Okay, let's start with this and start to zone some houses in. Oh yeah, we need to add in services before we do any of that. So let's start with a smaller, maybe the cheapest one. Cheapest water tower. Maybe just place it there. And electricity wise, let's see, maybe just go with the bigger one for now. Is there anywhere that produces a decent, well that actually is pretty decent, so, or do we just want to import it for, maybe just start with that. Let's import it for now, and if need be we can upgrade the how this goes. One thing that I do want to do also is export the sewage for now, because I don't want to destroy this beautiful river. Hopefully that's sorted the way I want it to. Let's maybe start with these ones. and see if they fit the vibe that we're going for. Maybe shouldn't place them so close to the highway, but we can put in some trees there to try. Yeah, no, I didn't think that was gonna work. Did I connect it with... No, I did not. Okay, I don't know how to set that up, so I guess we're having to pump that into the water. We can, however, put it away a little bit. Okay, I actually just checked. That does not go all the way to the outside. It cuts off in here. But then maybe we should place the sewage pipe or the sewage here. Maybe that'll work as expected. You know what, it's kind of pumping it onto the land, but we'll see the effect on that water, and if need be, we move it. As for these houses, I think they're the sort of thing I'm looking for. They look very like some houses I saw. You know what, I'm gonna destroy that because that's gonna annoy me. But they look very like the houses I saw whenever I was looking into Tacoma. That was one of the cities I was taking inspiration for this from. Maybe we could actually just make this an alley. Yeah, I think that looks better. I have a bad habit of speeding things up, so I'm gonna try to consciously not do that. But it may take me some time to get used to it. Okay, so now that we've got a few houses in, let's add some commercial. Ideally not big commercial. We'll see how big it turns out, but hopefully it stays small and suiting for this area. I guess we also need some industry. Now, maybe we want to focus on specialized industry because we have a lot, as you can see, of trees. And they do not pollute the same way that other industries might. So, yeah, let's do that. So I just want the road out here. It's mostly flat for now. But then I want to wind it up and kind of go along with the terrain, even if it does mean, you know, going up a bit further. Or in a more steep, in a steeper gradient, that's what I'm trying to say. Might be okay, although the fact that it's glitching like this kind of tells me that it won't be, so let's maybe see if we can slope it down. We do have the network tools mod, so we can 8.3. I feel like that's a little bit too steep. I just checked and I am right on the border. So let's maybe make that smoother and less of a big jump from the slope, so trucks and such can get up there. There we go. 6 feels a lot more reasonable. Might be a bit of a steep turn though, or a sharp turn. So that is where, yes, I have it installed, it's just not there for some reason. Let's see if we can make this a little bit easier by making the section a little bit larger. Intersection, should I say. Something like that. Now we need to sort this bit out though. Maybe we could help things in terms of how difficult that curve is just by moving this around. Yep, I think that'll do. But let's clear this bit out and get started on our industry. Okay, so that will produce, it's got 71% efficiency, and where does it say? I guess we'll find out how much wood. But that should provide some jobs at least, and that has went down a little bit, but let's maybe create more industry jobs in this area. Aha, so maybe it isn't a great place to have it. Maybe we could put it up here then instead, because I don't foresee maybe over here, but we'll cope with that whenever it happens. Alright, so we have our first industry buildings on their way. I don't want to do too much because I don't want that many industry buildings in the city, but we'll increase it if needs must. Let's just continue zoning some of these though. Maybe we could use some waterfront housing for this waterfront area. We'll say that was on purpose. We'll add some more commercial as well, since... yeah, I think this sort of vibe suits what I'm going for anyway. I'm gonna move those closer together once they develop, but for now it can just be like that. I was gonna sit and wait for a little bit before further development, but let's continue a bit. I don't want it to be zoned there or there, but I can zone a few more right here. Maybe do some more commercial on the opposite side of the road. I do not want it facing that way though. Well, we'll see what happens there. Let's see what these look like. I think they kind of suit the vibe still. They're a bit more modern, but I think they still work. I wonder what we could do with this space. What we could do is just put another one of these in it. Maybe that's too much. We'll test it out and see. I I also do want to leave room for a train station here, which is why I don't want to zone much on this street. We are losing money relatively quickly, but actually not as fast as I was thinking. I think we're doing quite well. We can add some more waterfront homes. See how that turns out. I'm not too sure about the spaces between them. We may just fill that in, but for now let's leave it like this. I'm trying not to second guess everything that I place. We can definitely put some more commercial down though. I really want this kind of to be quite a busy main street. Still quiet, like it's to service this little area for now. But you know, just a typical main street down a little village. We're gonna speed a little bit through this sort of stage just because to level up to the next milestone. But I think we maybe fill it out a wee bit more. I want it quiet and not very populated, but we can do more than that. Let's also, like I said, move these businesses closer together because I want it to be one continuous line of shops. Though this one's being difficult. What I might do is, do I have it installed in this mod pack? Maybe it's better to place commercial manually. Yeah, I think so. Let's keep it quite, like I say, small town-esque. Or any of these small town-esque is the question. Yeah, something like this. Maybe not that one. What do these look like? Nah, not that. Yeah, something like that. This, we're gonna have to spice it up a bit, make it look all the same, but also different enough that it doesn't look crazy. Is this too big for this area? I think it might be. You know what? I think this works. I'm guessing those shutters are gonna open eventually. But for the meantime, let's draw a street that kind of wraps around here. Don't want it to connect though. That should do it. We want to do the same exact thing on the other side as well. So if we do those three, and then... Oh, nice. Tiny village. Let's check the progression panel. So we can get a loan, or more of a loan. We can get more roads. Yeah, it just unlocks a bunch of basic stuff. It's nice that we can do healthcare and garbage management though. But for now, let's spend our points. Let's do some parking areas. Oh, we don't have enough for that. If we look at the rest... Nah, let's stick to this and look for advanced roads services. Try and make these straight. What I do notice is that's kind of going onto the road, so maybe let's not do that. Like that. And then these can very slightly tilt. Like so. We do have more housing demand, so let's maybe start working on that. We can add some more. Oh no, we can't. That being said, I don't know if that's part of this part. It isn't, but it's good to remove that anyway. We need to decide whether we want the access here to anyone that wants it, or I think we do. I think we leave it like that. Maybe draw another road off of this one. It's annoying how we can't fit any in there, but we can make do by going like this. Nope. Third time's a try. Going like this. And that would be why we can't do that. But we can do this, and this, and this. I did not know that was possible. That works for me. I do see that there is a bit of a demand for medium density though. So let's add some. Maybe add some right here. Maybe not there actually. Let's move it to here. And do a parking lot. We do not have parking lots yet. That's okay. What we can do is add some more of these. Or, okay. No, we cannot. If we make those smaller, I feel like it might be better. What's our unemployment at? 5.6. I was expecting worse, to be fair. Hopefully some of them come up and work in here. We've started to get some deathcare necessities. So let's maybe find a place to put this. Maybe even there. feel like that works. And maybe a hospital as well, or a medical clinic. I feel like it should be somewhere along the main strip, but I wonder if we should just... I feel like that makes sense though, because then it has more access to go down here and out here, and it's, you know, at the center of town. And we can add more houses elsewhere. This one we can't add, but now I want to test that in every single opportunity I can get. And we can also, I'm thinking we expand out here with more housing. But I don't think we're done here yet. Can we scoot that forward? Not really. We can scoot it over a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. That works. But does this work? Not overly. But once again, we can do this. Maybe we do want to just make everything close together here, instead of having it a little bit spread out like here. We'll see. We can always go back and adjust. These are taking a very long time to build, but I guess that's kind of normal. What I do want to do is create a pedestrian path. Turn off snapping from there to here. Then maybe, do we have... No, we don't have parking lots just yet, so we can't check, but hopefully I can fit some sort of parking lot in there. Alright, I'm back. I had to stop recording this to go stream on Twitch. Follow me there. It's Pluto Olympics as well. I will put the link in the description. But I think it's a nice time to kind of wrap this up for today. Or for this episode, should I say. What I might do now is do a time lapse of me detailing this area a bit more. I think I might also go in and change the spacing and just make it next to each other, because it's a little bit too spaced out but not spaced out enough for me for it to make sense. So I'm gonna go in, fill in all the gaps, maybe rearrange stuff and detail. So enjoy the time lapse, and I will see you in the next episode. Alright, I think I'm gonna leave it there because there's a few things that I want to add to the city that I haven't unlocked yet, and I'd rather wait than rush it out and like have to redo it. But I did detail this sort of area and these shops a little bit. I put some fences, made it more separate from the road, but service vehicles can still get back there. I also replaced these row houses because the row houses that grew weren't the sort of things that I was looking for. Mostly I did landscaping though and changed bits and pieces, but this will have to wait. I want to put a park in here, I want to put parking spots in here, and I just don't have those unlocked. So that will be today's episode. If you've made it this far, thank you for joining on this journey. I hope to see you again, but other than that, peace out.